Well, it's that time of year again. The leaves are falling, snow in the forecast, cool temperatures, middle of October. And what that means is it's time to get the motorcycle ready for storage. Well, storage in this garage, heated garage, but get it ready for hibernation. That entails oil change, oil filter change, full tank of gas, and a little bit of fuel stabilizer in the gas. So we just took it for a ride here on this Tuesday. It was 56 degrees today, and got the tank filled up. Added some stabilizer, a little stable marine, and a little bit of seafoam in the gas, and got the engine warmed up. And a few weeks ago, stopped at the Harley-Davidson dealership here locally and got some Syn 3 and a new oil filter. So now we got to drain the oil now that the engine is hot. Everything was lubricated and cleaned out so we can get all the contaminants out of the oil before we let it sit all winter. So I'll take you along for the ride on this oil change. So I got something that might be considered maybe a pro tip, but you can download the owner's manuals off of Harley's website, and then I put the PDF in my Google Drive, made it available for download, or made it available offline on my phone, so I have access to the owner's manual all around whenever I have my phone with me, so that I don't have to carry it around in the bike as well. So I was just checking to see which drain plug is the oil drain plug, because there's 3 of them down there, and I found it. So we'll get the stuff to drain the oil out of the crankcase, and then we'll work on the filter. So stay tuned. So I found the drain pan, or the drain hole, in the owner's manual. And if we go underneath the bike, so I'll just go underneath it, looking at it from the front side. Might be easier if it's on a lift, maybe it won't be, I'm not sure. But if we can see here, this is the oil drain plug for the engine oil here. It says just don't remove this plug, and then there's another plug in here for the transmission somewhere, but this is the engine oil plug right there. Transmission is right there. This is another plug that does not have to be opened or drained, and this will be the engine oil plug. 5/8 inch socket will remove that plug. So I'll pull you back here, set you up, we'll watch this operation. I've got it on the ground, so it's a little easier to when it's on the jiffy stand. Okay. Minimize as much oil on my hand as possible. Did I bring a rag over here? Yep. Put the drain pan underneath because it might spurt out being hot. Where'd it go? Okay. Alright, and I'm going to open the fill plug on top. Give it some draft. There we go. Now she's coming out. We'll let that drain and go eat some dinner. Let that drain all the way out. And we'll come back later and do the oil filter. Easy enough. Alright, onto the oil filter. So this is where it can kind of get messy. A couple things first before we start. You can buy these little oil filter wrenches. I got the actual Harley-Davidson branded one. You can see the little Harley-Davidson on there. And that allows, the notch on there allows you to get past the part of the engine block and then get on the oil filter. So long extension. I might actually get another one to get in there. And the other part is one of these little doohickeys, little drain Allows you to slide it underneath the existing oil filter and it'll catch some of the oil. Some. Also, it will probably make a little bit of a mess too. There's really no good way to get that oil without getting down into the water pump on these FLHTKs. I'm going to get a rag and then set this up and rag, and then we'll loosen the existing oil filter. Okay, one thing I realized after doing some research, and when we put in the orange tray to remove the oil filter up here in front of the engine, typically those trays come with a nail. And I always wonder what that nail was for, and I forgot this time around. Figured it out after last time around when I did my father-in-law's motorcycle. But that nail is there to puncture, I believe, I haven't researched this at all, but I guess the nail is there to puncture the old oil filter so that you can drain it before you open it. That way the oil filter will drain all the oil out of the system and then you will make less of a mess. So for next time, if you guys are learning from this, use that nail to puncture the oil filter and then let it drain before you pull the oil filter off, and you won't have any mess around your water pump or on the floor underneath. So it's a good tip. Okay, bear with me. Tight quarters, but I was able to get the little tray in there, and then I don't know if you can see it from there, but I also got little rags from the other side to catch anything that might slip past the little drain and soak up some oil. And here's that doohickey underneath the existing oil filter. So we'll try to loosen that baby up and then go from there, see what happens. Stick the oil filter wrench on there first, get all about past all this stuff. Okay, we're on there, and we'll connect the ratchet and loose. I'm going to push in on the little drain. Push in on the drain a little bit, make sure it's back all the way, and we'll loosen up this oil filter. Oh, we got some oil coming off. That's good. Last year, I know I made a big mess doing this. Cool. Ooh, oil filter's warm. Okay, I think that oil filter's got to come out the front. So I'm just going to lay it on the tray and then do a reach around. And there's some oil on the floor, so obviously this didn't work as great as it should. New oil filter time. Clean my fingers off a little bit. Take the sticker off, I'm not going to need that. So I'm going to do this next year again. And I'm just going to take a little bit of the old oil. Just a little lubrication. Put a light film on the filter and the rubber. And that helps make sure that the filter seals good on the housing. And we'll slide it back in there. Okay, tighten it. Now that I got it kind of tightened, I'm going to remove the tray. out and get my hand in there and tighten it the rest of the way. Place, I think, tighten it to the point where you feel it's tight. I think you can go to like the contacts, and then another quarter turn is typically about all you need on these. But last thing we got to do is put oil filter in a little container to get recycled, and put the drain plug back in, put new oil in. Okay, one thing to always check when you're doing this is the O-ring that was on the drain plug. So here's the drain plug, and it was pretty shot. There was some damage on it. Some of the rubber was peeling off. So I've got myself an O-ring kit, oil resistant O-ring. So I'm going to size up an O-ring that'll fit on here. Number 12 looks good. 012, which is 1/16 wide, 3/8 inner diameter, outer diameter 1/2 inch. Let's see if that baby fits on there. You know, just comparing the one that was on there. Okay, so the benefits of editing and time and camera tricks. Did some research and found that the O-ring size for the oil drain plug is 013, which is a 1/16 inch in diameter, 7/16 inner diameter, and 9/16 outer diameter. So the biggest one, the one I put on there, is a 1/16 too small on the inner and outer diameters. So with that being said, I am gonna have to, I wonder if I use this one, if that would make a difference. This one's 3/32. It's a number 110. The inner diameter is 3/8, the outer diameter is 9/16. But it's a 30 seconds thicker than the 013. I'm gonna try that one. The outer diameter is the same. Give it a try, see what happens. So I'm gonna switch that out and runner. Maybe next year I'll order a couple dozen of them just to have them on hand, because I guess they're all the same size for this bike. New one on. Okie. Oil up the O-ring just a touch. Make sure you're on the screen. Oil it up just a touch. And about to slide when you spin it in. And then the runner. Alright. Check her out. I don't know, we'll see. Put some oil in it. See what happens. I wouldn't think that 30 seconds would make a difference, but what do I know? We'll find out when I put oil in it. Okay, so the owner's manual says to put in 3 quarts of oil. This is 4, 1 US gallon. Put in 3 quarts of oil, and then perform an engine oil check, level check. It says capacity is 4 quarts, but it might not get all in there, because I think there's a little bit that goes on the bottom of the crank side in that sump. So it says put in 3 quarts and then do an engine oil check, which consists of checking it cold, running it till hot, and then checking when it's hot. So we'll put 3 quarts in, open this baby up, and little graduations on the side. We're about 2.75 quarts in, so another quarter of a quart. Another, what is that? 8 ounces. Alright, I got 3 quarts in there. And the owner's manual then says to wipe it off, take the dipstick out, prevent any spillage. Crank it in there all the way, just to make sure we got oil in there. We should. We got 3 quarts. Okay, that's definitely got some oil, so I'm going to stir it up and see what it does. Check it after that once I start it for a little bit. So, and I just checked there's no leaks coming out of the drain plug. So now that the oil filter is full of oil, you can check the oil level again. Do that by taking it out, tightening it, pulling it back out. Checking in, it should be halfway between add a quart and the full mark. So right now we're just about above halfway. So we should be good. I'll just have to make sure. I need to check the oil in the spring or the next time I take it for a ride after it's warm, and we'll be able to confirm that there is enough oil in the unit. And the last thing to do is just wipe up my mess I got. I got a little bit of oil in the pipes, it looks like, and clean up underneath, clean up my tools, and baby's done. So thanks for coming along for the ride today. Hope you learned something. A couple mistakes here and there, but nothing catastrophic. Well, we have fresh oil for the winter. Seems kind of backwards, but it's good to get the contaminants out of the oil, out of the engine before it sits for, it's October, middle of October now, and a good chance that I won't be on this bike for another 6 months, so April-ish. Sometimes May. First ride is in May, so we'll see. Till next time, we have a bunch more videos coming out. Hopefully we'll keep this on a weekly schedule on Saturdays, but life gets busy too, so thanks for hanging around for the ride. See ya.